Hello and welcome to my PoGo Journey, where we talk about player stories while playing Pokemon and how they came to the game and what their future plans are with the game. So today we have a special guest from Australia, a fellow streamer, djkizza, and of course, Andres. Hello. Let's get started.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Time difference is a thing, but I'm good.
What time is it for you at the moment?
6:50.
Damn. It's a little early. Kind of works though.
Yeah, it works. I'm always up at 6 anyway.
So I have to ask, are you ready for Liquid Community Day since it's just technically around the corner?
Yes, I have plans.
All right. At the beginning, I'm just gonna start asking you yes/no questions. And then I'll let you start talking and telling us a little bit more about it. If you want to say anything about or a little bit more about one of these questions, just feel free to. Did you ever play any of the main series games?
Yes, I did.
Does your partner play Pogo?
Barely.
Okay. Do you have any kids?
Kids? No.
Uh,
Just a cat. Cat.
Do you have any Shondo Pokemons?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever been to the Panama Canal?
I have not. No.
Do you set yourself a budget for Pogo?
No. I should, but I do not.
Do you have pets? You said you had a cat.
Yep.
Do you have a Do you have a Pokestop or a gym at work?
Technically, yes. I work from home now, and I have a Pokestop in my house. Well, next to my house.
Okay, and have you ever pet a kangaroo?
Yes, but it's not advised to pet wild ones because they are very vicious. They will knock the heck out of you.
All right. So, Chad, this is your time to guess the stats. So, if you guys want to type it out, djkizza, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, introduce yourself to us.
Hello. I'm a Australian trainer. I have been playing the game since it first came out, and you know how everybody says, and I had a break, and so I eventually came back to it and got really into it really hard. I did not have the break. I just kept on going when everyone gave up, and I was struggling through the blissies in the gyms and the chancies and doing all that fun the whole time, trying to meet the only other mystic trainer in my area who was taking gyms like a creeper. Like literally, I would see in the distance the gym going down, it would go blue, and I would get in my car to see if I could catch him to go and say hello. I don't think I ever did. I think I saw him around, but never did. But yeah, I kept playing during those lonely times until raids made everyone come back, which was great. I focus more on collecting and raiding, and I really enjoy the socialness of Pokemon Go. Like, the majority of my friends now play Pokemon Go, and I've met through Pokemon Go. So
I'm gonna jump in here for a second. Like, we met because you raided my stream at 6 in the morning, my time, right after your raids ended. It was kind of like, whoop. That's how we met. So yeah.
We actually started streaming because this always makes me sound really sad, but I was playing Pokemon a lot by myself, and I don't know if anyone here has ever done this, but going out and just walking for hours on end, especially if you do it at nighttime like I like to do, it can be really lonely if you're not with someone else. So I started streaming because I'm like, I'd love to talk to people while I'm playing. So that's why I wanted to do that, just so I could talk. I didn't even need to show Pokemon. I did, but I didn't need to. I just wanted to chat with people. And so my friend Quirky and Skilled and I started our stream so that we could do that as well. And because we love raids, we were streaming raids, and people loved it because people can then do raids from Australia and all over the world. So when our raids finish, we're not the kind of people who say, well, let's just keep on going and let's do the thing and let's see if we can keep this going for a lot longer. We're like, hey, we don't have any raids left. Let's send you someone who does, because we all want to raid. So we do that we used to do that all the time. We just send off to people who are raiding as well.
Nice. So you said we used to, like, why did you guys quit hosting raids?
Well, we quit streaming for almost a year because life got very busy for everybody.
Oh.
And I felt like I was the only person who really had the time for it for a while. Poor, Quirky, and Skilled had so much on their plates, and it was just becoming a bit of almost like a job. And we've always said streaming was never a job for us. We didn't want to make it that we were like full-time streamers. That wasn't ever a goal of ours. We just wanted to have fun with it.
Yep.
So when it became a little bit less fun, we're like, okay, we need to take a step back. And so we took a break for a couple of weeks, and then I said, all right, I think this is the way to go for a little bit. And we always said we might come back, and we did. But we're just starting out slow because we want to make sure we're not burning ourselves out again.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys are doing a podcast yourself, so tell me a little bit about that, and then we'll reveal your stats and we continue with the conversation.
Yeah, so we started the podcast. Actually, to be fair, we started the podcast because everyone said, oh, you need to do YouTube, you need to do other things so you can get really big. And we're like, we don't really care. We don't want to do that. It's not for us. And then someone said, do a podcast. It's an easy thing to do. And we're like, all right, you know what? Fine. So we started a podcast. We said, we'll see how it goes. And we actually really liked it. We liked doing it. It takes a long time to edit the podcast because I talk too much. Quirky and Skilled can never get a word in. So I have to be constantly cutting myself out and trying to push it all together. But it's a fun thing that we do, and we like doing it. So
that's awesome.
On Twitch. Yeah.
So basically we do the same thing. The only difference is that I put it on YouTube and I don't edit it either. No, perdón, sorry, I don't edit. I just take it.
Yeah.
And upload it. But
I am not interested in YouTube. Like, it's YouTube seems like a really great idea, but then you see all the stories about working the algorithm and doing this and having to put out content all the time, and that's not for me. I can't. That's exhausting to think about. So
it is exhausting, and I'm starting it, but it's like yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. It is like that, and trying to take it slow because it's all right. So stats, great work, chat, on those guesses. So regular rates. 9,508. Legendaries, 7,430. Jogger, 22,547. Collector, 271,668. Pokestuffs, 139,096. Last but not least, lifetime XP, 347,734,257.
Must be really frustrating for you when you get the stats just before we start, and then we continue to play, and so they're just off. Because we've been doing things while we've been talking.
It's all good. I didn't look at them, but yes. So, how do you started playing? Because you said you were lonely, or you were the only one playing around your area that was blue. So.
Yeah, and that's just my immediate area. Like, I know that Mystic is literally what was always the most popular team. Mystics everywhere. But in my area, it was a lot of yellow. And myself and this other guy, I can't even remember his name now, but we were the only people really taking out the gyms. Because back in the day, that was pretty much the only way you could see what someone's team was. Because we didn't have raids, we didn't have anything like that.
Yeah.
So, and if you didn't know them and you weren't friends with them, you had no idea. So it was just him and me against the yellows in the area. So, yeah, I actually started playing because one of my friends was invited to the beta before it, which I wasn't. I was so irritated. And he was really enjoying it. Although, have you ever heard anyone talk about the beta?
A little bit. Wasn't that the one that they did the Pokemons like in locations, but it was in Google Maps or something? Or that's No, the beta or the actual beta of
The closed beta of PoGo.
No.
So it was basically the same as what it started off with. The
Yeah.
major difference is every single Pokemon had its own candy. So there was Bulbasaur candy, Ivysaur candy, and Venusaur candy. So can you imagine trying to power up a Venusaur when the only way to get the candy back in the day was catching them? Insane. I don't know why they ever thought that was going to work. And they obviously didn't because they changed it before it came out. But yeah, stuff like that. And he was telling me how much fun it was. And then so as soon as it came out, I literally got it the day it came out. I think I took a day off work. And then I went and played it.
So when is your start date?
Start date is day 1. Uh-huh.
Because is it the same? Yeah, was it global? Yeah, 7-6. So yeah, that's day 1. Mine is 7-7. I was a late adopter of the game.
Like adopter, 1 day late. Oh.
I actually like whatever. So like 7-6. I'm like, you beat me by a day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how did you pick your name and your team then?
So I always thought this was an Australian thing, but I don't think it is. When you're a kid here, generally the way that someone gives you a nickname is they take like the first letters of your name and then add "za" after it. So like I used to have a friend called Warwick, and so he was Wazza, and so I was Kieran, so that's Kizza. But for some reason, Kizza used to be taken on everything. Like if I tried to get an account, Kizza was always taken. And so as a teenager, I'm like, I'm going to be a DJ one day. That'll be really cool. And so I was like, I'm going to take djkizza because no one ever takes it. So that became my name. I never became a DJ, and it stuck.
Okay, that was my follow-up question. It's like, are you a DJ then?
Everyone always asks me, and I'm like, no. Although there isn't a DJ in the UK called djkizza who has messaged me, I think 2 or 3 times, telling me that he wants my name on Twitter. I'm like, no. I'm sorry, no.
Sell it.
He's not going to pay me for it.
Oh, then no. Yeah, I know.
No.
So how do you pick blue? Like if you haven't seen, I'm wearing a blue shirt just because you're our first mystic.
That's insane. The most popular team, and out of the first 7 people, I'm the first mystic.
Yep, the first 5 were Valor.
I mean, it's Mystic and then Valor, right? And then Core Instincts on the bottom. I just picked Mystic because I like blue. Basically, that was the only reason. Like, I wish I had a complicated reason, but I like blue.
That's exactly how I pick Valor. Red is my favorite color. I just pick red. I mean, so I heard that a lot. But it's like, you know who are the ones that always have a story about picking the team? Instincts. I think instincts are the one that actually go through read all the descriptions and then pick instinct. But the rest of us just pick our favorite color, I think.
Yeah, we just went. And actually, I remember looking at them and going, I like blue, and Blanche looks cool before her glow down. But I was like, I like it, so I chose it.
All right, this what's your spirit Pokemon?
Oh, Dino. I love Dino so much. It's a little emo Pokemon. He's so adorable. And then he loses his emo-ness and turns into a giant rage monster. I love it so much.
Fair enough. So how many Dino raids do you do?
All of them. Literally, I stayed awake when they first were happening for the Go Fest. It was Go Fest, right? Yeah. Oh, wait.
No, it was...
Was it the Dragon event?
It was somewhere... It was before Go Fest. Because then Go Fest, we had them again and everybody was going crazy about them.
Yeah.
So how many do you think you did?
I have no idea. I was counting because we were streaming then too and everyone wanted to know. And I just lost count. Because I stayed up so that everyone could invite me. That was my streamer privilege. I enjoyed it very, very much.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, my first ever dino raid was a Shundi. So you can't do better than that. It was amazing.
So I guess it's that guy down there.
No, he's one of my other Hundies. I'm trying to make all my Hundi dinos best friends, best buddies. So this one's just another little guy.
So how many Hondo dinos do you have then?
Dino and 4-star. Show evolutionary line 11.
Oh, and one being a
Well,
Shunda.
yes, my Shun Dragon. Look at that beautiful creature. She's the best. I love her so much. You know she got an elite TM when Com Day happened.
Nice. How do you like the new trainers? Sorry, the new spreads of the trainers.
I feel bad for the person who designed them because everybody hates them so much, but I don't think they're great. I don't think they're great. Except for Candela, who looks like an old-timey pilot.
I feel like Candela got refreshed and the other ones were just like... I don't know what happened.
It was a glow down. It was an absolute glow down. I just don't get it. But also, I understand someone put a lot of hard work into that, and so I feel bad ragging on them because I'm sure they were given a brief. But
Oh,
I just don't enjoy them.
I mean, they probably were told, like, we want them to look like this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that they wasn't like... Can you imagine? They're like... What about the other person that did the other ones? Like, can they do that? Like...
Yeah, here's my thing. I think I said this on the podcast before.
I jump into your podcast whenever you were talking about it, but then I fall asleep.
Oh, yeah, no, I ranted. I ranted about it. I think the brief was they wanted Blanche to be more intelligent looking. They wanted Candela to look a little bit more like a go-getting adventurer person, and they wanted Spark to look more relaxed. But they made Blanche look like an absolute nerd. Candela, as I said, old-timey pilot for some reason, and Spark just looks like a bro. I can't think of another word for it. He just looks like a bro.
Have you ever watched, like, just because you're not from the US, but have you ever watched like a US movie where like a frat boy, like that's what that's exactly what, and then like Candela's Candela, yeah, the Candela looks fine, but Spark looks like a frat boy, and to me, what's the mystic one? Blanche looks like a librarian that is pissed at her work, and like last year, like before retiring or something. But it's like it looks like a librarian, like you said. They wanted to make her look smart, but I don't know.
Yeah. So I live in Brisbane, and we had a committee that was working on getting a safari zone before the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Which we were looking pretty good, I will just say. And I had plans because we were all going to volunteer for it and help out. That was part of our proposal to Niantic.
Yep.
And I was going to get a Blanche coat because I found one on somewhere online, eBay or somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love it so much. I'm going to get that. I'm going to dress up as it, and that'll be cool. And now I'm like, well, I don't want to dress up as what she's got now. So.
Why did you start playing? You already talked a little bit about it, but any fun stories whenever you first started? What was that first Pokemon you caught in the wild? I was like, oh my god, like...
So, this was my first ever Pokemon. That's my little baby Bulbasaur that I evolved and will never take past level 1. It was day 1 Bulby. And I megaed it as well because he needs to have the love. He needs to have the love. He needs to be mega. So I took it all the way. So technically, with all the stats that I've just given, that's kind of not half of my journey, but it's not the whole journey. So when the game first came out, you know how you get given the choice of the 3 starters? My game glitched, and all I saw was Bulbasaur. And Bulbasaur has never been my starter Pokemon in any of the main series games. But I was like, oh, I guess you're just given a random one. Okay, I got Bulbasaur. Catch it, moving on. And then I was talking to my friend, and he was like, oh, I chose Charmander. What did you choose? I'm like, I didn't get a choice. I had Bulbasaur. They're like, no, man, they just show up. All 3 of them. You can choose one. I'm like, nope, I'm out. And so I logged out of the game, made a new account, and logged in using my work email address, and started again on day one. And then I chose Squirtle, which, like everybody else, because they're 10, 10, 10, they're not great. I eventually got rid of it, so I don't have that one. But this was the first ever Pokemon I caught. Cut to 2018, I think the beginning of the year. I was concerned because it was connected to my work Google account. I'm like, if I ever lose my job or anything happens, I won't be able to access Pokemon anymore. And I've put a lot of money and time into this account, and it was giving me anxiety, which sounds stupid.
No, it's not, because I have heard people lose their accounts because of like email related issues.
Yeah, and like now you can put multiple accounts in, and I was messaging them almost weekly saying, hey, do you have any plans for this? Because I don't want to have to start again, but I'm going to have to if you don't implement some other way for me to log in. And they're like, no, we've got nothing planned. Literally, I emailed that the week before they announced that they had something planned. I'm like, cheers, thanks for that. So at the beginning of 2018, because I had a big group of Pokemon friends, I said, I'm doing it. I'm out. I'm going back to the original account that I started, and I am going to just smash it. Within about a month, and this was before friendship was a thing, so basically the main XP was from raiding, I went from level, I don't know, what are you, 2 when you catch your first ever Pokemon, to level 40. And I just went out, I took time off work, and I raided by myself with people whenever I could, wherever I could. And remotes weren't a thing, so I was driving around, looking for gyms, doing any raid I could find, until I got to 40.
So that's why you said that this is your first account?
First account that I stopped playing right after I caught the Bulbasaur. And then I went back to it. With my old account, it's actually, if you've ever seen me on stream, because I have another account called Ultron, that's the one that was my basically my main for a lot of my time in Pokemon. And he was level 39 when I stopped him to do this one. So just shy of 40.
Oh. So that's interesting.
Whenever I tell people that this isn't the account that I was playing during a lot of the hype of the game, they always just assume, oh, he must have been a spoofer and had his account banned. No, I was just really concerned about losing my job and losing access.
Losing my job.
Yeah, I didn't, by the way. There was no reason to be concerned. I still have my job and I still have access. And now I have a Facebook login on it, so I can log in even if I change jobs.
Nice. So how long did it, so you basically grinded it for a week? So when did you picked it back up like after 2 years?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, it laid dormant for 2 years while I was on my other account. And then I just switched over one day and then did that. And obviously put a lot of money into it because I was raiding all the time. Yeah,
I can tell your raids, it's backwards of what usually people have.
Yeah.
They usually have more legendaries than...
Well, that's because I was playing a lot during the times when T-Tar was the best thing in raids. Like, we didn't have legendaries. So we would literally, like, create trains. We would have people, like, because our chat was very busy for raids. So we would make raid trains where we'd all get in cars. People would report, and we'd be like, all right, we're going to this one, that one, that one, that one. And if we go really fast, we can get to that one as well. Because we can't touch our phone while we're driving, but we'd do the raid, say, here, catch for me, and then drive. It was great. It was a time. Parking illegally, almost having car accidents. It was great. Be safe, everyone.
That is something that you're like, you just remind me of like me tapping while driving, because then, you know, we then had tap and go. And like whenever like somebody's like, oh yeah, I got a shiny, I remember it's like, you know, like they were 100% cash rate. They're like, oh, I'm gonna throw all the balls away, I only need one. They whiffed the last throw, they missed the shiny.
Last ball challenge really did a lot of people dirty. When they just go, oh no, the ball.
But no, like, oh yeah, driving from raid to raid, like, I don't miss it at all.
Oh, I still do it.
I don't miss it. It's like, I don't know. It's so much nicer to just either get invited or invite people.
I like what they're doing with IRL raids to a point where if you do them IRL, you have the chance of getting poffins and XL candy and things like that. We talk about this a lot. It's way more effective whenever Niantic does things that are offering you a reward for doing what they want, rather than giving you the stick if you don't do what they want.
Okay, but I mean the puffins are flying. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
But the rare XLs, they still very rare.
Yeah, I get quite a few during raid hour. Hang on, my cat is doing the thing. I get quite a few. Well, I do get more poffins, which is stupid because you can buy poffins, but you can't buy XL candy. So it's weird. But I mean, I still don't use my XL candy because I'm like, what if they make it go away again? And I only have 85.
I was at 130 or 140.
Yeah,
but
that's amazing.
But I put it into Ho-Ho because I was gonna use it in my battle last week, so I only have 73 now.
Ho-Oh. You use it on Ho-Oh?
Yes, because a friend of mine likes to do shiny raids, so Corsola was out.
Oh, yep.
And Ho-Ho. So those were the two options. And
yeah, okay.
And we did way more Corsolas with less rewards, less chances of rare XLs, etc., 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 and I couldn't max my Ho-Oh. I'm pretty sure Ho-Oh is coming back like in 2-3 weeks just because I maxed it.
Absolutely. You've done it for everyone now. Now we're going to have to suffer Ho-Oh again. Thanks.
That happened to me you know what happened? That happened to me when what was this other one? Station?
Mm-hmm.
Finally got a Honda. And then I dropped all my candies, my regular rare candies in it. Regular. It got announced that it was coming back like a week before I finished. I'm like, you guys did me dirty. That was like, yeah, I was pissed.
But at least as a fellow raid addict, at least you're always getting the normal rare candies. Like, I'm constantly dumping them in something. I'll probably dump a bunch of mine today into Molo because I'm like, whatever. I'm not that stressed about rare candies.
I'm dropping mine right now in Flabebe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't get them a lot, actually. That's not a bad idea. If I think about them, I'd probably do them in mythicals more than anything.
Yeah, but it's like we're not getting the Flabebes enough, and I want to max my Honda, so yeah. That's what I have been. That's where I have been dropping my normal rare candies at the moment.
Yeah. Did you get a shiny Corsola, by the way?
No.
No.
Do you?
No. I will be finally when it's announced for Singapore. Because if I don't, I'm gonna be mad.
Do you think it's gonna be announced for Singapore?
Yeah, they've data mined that Corsola is one of the photo bombs.
Oh.
So I'd be really surprised, and I'd be annoyed. But I'm hoping.
I'm hoping to be able to not have an event at some point, so I can actually kind of hunt for it.
What are you talking about? You had 2 days. Isn't that enough? That's all we get now. It's
yeah, I know. I look at it and it was just like, oh, 23 in the entire city. I'm like, oh. And it was raining, so it was boosted.
Yeah.
I was like, no, like, no. So yeah, that's the issue that I have right now with the game. It's like we cannot hunt for those like special Pokemon's regional shinies because there's always something else spawning, right?
Do you remember? So back in the day, if an event happened, there was absolutely no chance to get a regional. They were just out of the pool. And people complained because they were going to these countries like they were going to America to look for tourists and they couldn't get them because there was a stupid event on. And then they said they upped it. But they're around, but they're still no longer, there's no way as good as they should be, I think.
I mean,
they should always be around.
Of course, because like you said, people take trips, and then like, for example, let's say that somebody goes to friends and trying to get a clef key, I'm
Yeah.
probably not that possible right now.
Yeah. So maybe they should do that where if you use an incense, it has a higher chance of spawning the regionals, so people can choose if they want that. That would be fine.
Yeah, but you will always give them ideas, and it's not like they implement them or anything.
No, because they're not money-making ideas. They're not ways to shaft us out as shinies and make us spend more money.
Oh, have you seen the boxes?
Yeah. I'm gonna get. So I accidentally, and seriously, an accident.
Yeah.
Dropped $100 on my old account the other week, thinking it was me, because I was putting coins on while I was tired. And so he has $100 worth of coins. So I'm gonna buy 2 of the lure boxes for him, because lures are good for me as well, and he can just put it on and I'll play.
I mean, the lure box is the one that I'm thinking about getting, like in the account that I don't spend any money, but I just drop in gems, like just so I can just lure some stuff up, and like it's not bad. It's not a bad deal though.
No, the lure one's the only one that I would consider. Every other one.
Yeah, the other one, yeah.
They're definitely experimenting with boxes.
I missed the one with green passes.
Really?
The 18 raid pass one. I missed that one.
Nope. I was constantly like burning through my remote passes to get the standard one, the normal one, because I think it was a little bit better value. Which you just had to spend the green passes, the remotes. So I was not the greens, the remotes. So I was burning through them so I could keep buying them.
Yeah, it was a better deal, but it was like
a lot of work.
Yes. So I at the very end, whenever they said that the new boxes were crap or were back to whatever, I actually bought like one of the big ones, one of the medium ones, and then another one of the medium ones.
I mean, that's not bad for the
just so I can have some star pieces too and stuff like. It's like it was not too terrible of a deal, but yes, yeah. The 6th one was the best one by far.
Mm-hmm. We were running out of raid passes for a while. I got 40 again now. Because we use them at every raid hour. We use at least 10 to 11. So
what you said, you know that I guess we're in the middle of we're in the middle of the episode. That you said right there, it is actually a fact for me.
Yeah.
That the green passes can be used remotely.
Why? What black magic are you doing?
Actually, this is not a. Yeah. I tell you later, but yes, that is a thing.
Okay. I would be interested in that because I'm trying not to spend money on the game at the moment, only because I'm saving for. I've got
Safari Zone, right?
Singapore, Singapore Safari Zone, and then I'm also going to Japan for 3 weeks in December, where I'm meeting up with people who we met at the Safari Zone we went to in Yokosuka years ago, that we've kept in touch the whole time.
Nice.
So we're going to meet up again. Yeah, we're going to a Pokemon Cafe. That'd be nice.
Are you even lucky with them by chance, or?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so it's 3 sisters. I'm lucky with 2 of the sisters, but the other sister, we're just best friends. We're working on lucky still.
Nice. So it's like Japan for 3. That sounds fun.
Oh yeah, I'm taking Skill Vader from my stream, and he's never been before, whereas I've been. I think this is my 8th or 9th time to Japan, so I'm going to show him around, basically.
Do you know any Japanese?
I know very basic, but when I get over there, some of it comes back to me, but still very basic. But things like, I can say hello, I can say thank you like 6 different ways, because it's very important, and I can ask where the toilet is, and how much things cost. Very basic stuff.
Okay. A PDR probably will ask, is like, can you ask for a beer?
I'm going to imagine beer would be just biru, so then you just say, I guess biru desu ka? Which is just, oh, maybe that's just beer. I don't know how to say can I have. I would just say biru desu ka. But also, you go over there and like, you will try to, so I have my little book and I'm trying to like say things and they'll stop and they'll listen and I'll be very polite and they'll say in perfect English, that was very good. However, it's desk, not desktop. And yes, I can help you. Come this way. All the time. Their English is so much better than my Japanese will ever be.
I can see that. I can see that. Back to other questions. Like, what's your favorite type of Pokemon?
I like the dark ones. I think they all have good stories too. Like their Pokedex entries are all. I like them. The dark ones. Generally.
Dark Pokemons. Okay. Interesting. Do you know what's kind of interesting? Like, 4 or 5 out of the first 6 people said dragon,
Yeah.
and I was I was like, okay, his favorite Pokemon is like, but Dino is also it's also dark.
Yeah. Everyone assumes because I do like dragon Pokemon. I think they're just designed better. They're designed cooler in my eyes. Like not better, just cooler.
Yeah.
But I have a soft spot for the darkies.
Interesting. Have you ever changed teams?
No. I have too much Mystic merch. I have hats and flags and shirts, and I have too much stuff. I couldn't change. I'll convince other people to change in a heartbeat. I'm working on Skilled, and we got our friend Bass Hunter to change from red to blue.
Oh
So
no.
it'll be done. Yeah.
Have you ever changed your name in the game?
Yes. So this one, my original account was called djkizza when I first started, and I think, and then the other account I made was called, I think, just DJ_Kizza, I think, or something like that. Then when I moved back to this one, I changed this one's name to djkizza, and I changed my alt to Ultron, which I didn't come up with, but I think is super clever because I'm a massive fan of Marvel things. And you know, Ultron, the Age of Ultron, the robot thing.
Yeah.
It's Ultron because it's an alt account. But Ultron.
Oh.
I think it's clever, and I didn't come up with it. I wish I had.
I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
An alt account Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
Can I? You said that you did have a Shundo? How many do you have?
Yep. I have a few, which it took me a long time to get my first, but I have 7. The oldest being this one from a Comday, this one from the Kanto tour, from the special research we had.
Does it have doesn't have a crown, but okay, still pretty cool though.
That's from the Kanto tour. We didn't have crowns in Kanto tour. I got a Talonflame from Community Day. I got it was a Zigzagoon, now it's an Obstagoon, was not from the Com Day, it was just when they came out in raids. And Skilled could not get a shiny Galarian Zigzagoon to save his life, and I got a few of them, and then I got the Shundi, and I had to hide it from him, so he didn't see it. I got my Shundragon from the Go Fest day 1.
Okay.
And I got a shiny Eevee from the second Com Day we had, which I turned into Sylveon.
Okay.
And I got a shiny Uxie from the raids. I got so many Hundi Uxies. I was so annoyed. I didn't want them. It's the only one I didn't care about.
How many raids did you do for all of them? Actually, that's an interesting topic for me.
So it says I've seen 219 and caught 130, which for anyone who raids a lot, you know that that's pretty standard, because if it's not something you're interested in, if it's on a Hundi or a really good CP, you throw the balls away to get to the next one for raid hours. So I don't know how many of them were traded though, because I try for a lucky dex as well.
Oh, okay.
And I have at least 1 lucky.
So what about the others, like Mespred and Aself?
Oh no, not S. Hang on. Mesprit. 98 and caught 76.
Okay.
And Azelf, which I think is the cutest, 102. So way more Uxie. Look at all those shiny Azelf. Too many. And I didn't get a Hundi of either of the other 2. Only of Uxie.
I have done 137 Aselfs.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 Hondas.
Yeah.
Uxie. I have the Honda. And I did only 40 raids.
40? Get out of here.
You can see my screen, right? Like you're
I can only see mine.
no, I mean like you can you're where is it? Anyhow, yeah, 40, and I have the Honda.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Mespret taunted me. I did a total of 339 of them.
Yep.
I couldn't get the Honda to save my life, and I like seriously, like I was even in Turkey. I was like, it was the regional and the place, whatever. Like that was the best thing about the trip to Turkey. Like I can stay awake and do the raids for that.
Yeah. That was my Red Quasar. I did so many of them and could not get a Hundy to save my life. Watching people get 2 or 3 Hundies, and I just couldn't get one, and I was so irritated. Which I know that's not your experience, but it is definitely mine.
How many do you have then? Requires.
I think I have one. I finally got one. Yeah, one.
Out of how many?
Hang on. It took me until 2021 March. 700. Oh, look at that. How perfect is that? Seen 700, caught 600 exactly, and 15 luckies. So, because I trade them too if I can.
Yeah. Okay, but 700.
I know. There's nothing on you.
No. I'm just saying, like, that's a lot. Like, I haven't seen a person that had seen that many. Like,
And trades as well.
I have 38 Lokis. Rayquazas traded. I have seen 1,781. I have caught 853.
Wow. You've caught 153 more than I've even seen. Have you?
And I ran from a lot of them because of like the raids, like you said, like the raid trains, like whenever you didn't have to catch them, like
You don't waste time on that.
Whenever
last ball challenge.
Do you remember the Pokemon that was like here for like extra XP?
Which one?
Latios.
Like the. Oh yeah.
Latios.
Yeah.
Latios. Like we did a lot of Latios also, but it was just because of the XP.
Yeah.
It was like we literally did like 600 Latios for XP. Like it was double XP weekend.
Oh, the Swords of Justice. We did Swords of Justice for that as well. Like we just ran through them and we get the XP and then we went, no, we don't care about this one. Is it a Hundy? No, get rid of it.
Yep.
Could be
that was 40.
Don't care.
That was 40. That was 40k XP.
Yeah.
Not that.
Have you caught any Lake Trio on the wild?
No, have you?
Yes. Once again, my lucky house had one. I don't know if you can see you can see the Pokestop. In my Pokestop, and Uxie spawned just over there. So I literally had to go to my backyard to get it. It was the most exciting thing. So I have
the 313.
Oh, that one apparently. That's a trade. So trade 313. Oh, that one's another wild one. Check it out. With a Pokeball. And yeah, that one's another wild one. So I've got 3 of them. I know, right?
How?
Insane.
How? Okay, that is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
The one that was the Great Ball one, someone reported it. And
Yeah.
I got in my car. That was the first one that I ever saw in the wild. Got in my car and I probably broke a few speeding laws. Didn't get caught, thank God. But I got there and I was so worried that it was going to despawn when I got there. That's the same as my first ever dino, actually. Sped for that one too because someone reported it. And I'm like, please don't despawn, please don't despawn. And got it both times.
Nice. Yeah, that happened. That happened to me. That happened to like actually. This is kind of funny because stream never knew until like now probably. I left. Like I literally one day I closed stream like just boom done. And I left and I said bye boom. I didn't even like close rate anybody. I saw the thing is like 23 minutes on it. And the ride was 22 minutes.
Oh.
like the drive, and it's like
Close.
hitting all kind of like red light, stop sign, everything. I made it, and I caught the Hondo. What is the little pancake thingy?
Little pancake? What's the pancake?
Galarian, the Galarian
Stunfisk.
Stunfist, because it's
Yeah.
good for Ultra League.
Yeah.
Fast forward like a month later, I got a Hondo Lucky from a trade.
Yeah.
I'm like, great.
We were
Now I need to max a different one.
We were streaming once, and oh look, I got 3 of the undies. And a dino showed up on my nearby over at the Pokestops in the corner over there. And because I was streaming with Quirky and was skilled, I think Quirky was still online, and she doesn't live next to me.
Yeah.
And so I said, Quirky, take the stream, and I just left. And Quirky has had to talk to everyone and say, I think he's going for a Pokemon, everybody. And I just disconnected my phone and ran, and then came back.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a dino.
I mean, I actually did that for like I don't know. There was like one Pokemon I was missing for like a thing, like a challenge, you know, like the last day of the catching challenge and stuff. And it's like, I'm sorry, stream. Like, I'm sorry. Like, just give me 10 minutes. I'm gonna go walk down this street. Otherwise, I'm not gonna complete this, because yeah, there was some that were not spawning. I was like, oh my gosh, like I have like a day.
Yeah. They do us dirty sometimes with these things.
Yeah. I hatched an Arshan last night.
Shiny?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I keep hatching normal ones. Like normal Tortugas and Archons, and I'm like, ugh, just be shiny.
Yep.
It'll be more common next year. Everything always is.
Yeah, I just want a shiny Corsola though.
I mean, I'm waiting to see what it's like in Taipei, because Taipei is getting them, and if they're abundant. If they are, great. Because I have my friend, Bass Hunter, he moved up north where we have Corsola, because we don't have them here, but literally an hour or 2 north from us, we have Corsola. So he moved to a spot where they have them now. He's been hunting them every chance he gets, and he still hasn't got one shiny either.
Yeah, like, yeah, that's what you said. You had 2 days. Yeah, had 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days.
Yeah, I caught like 2.
2 days?
No. What's your favorite event of all times?
I really love the Halloween events. Although, if we're not including like the Go Fests and Safari Zones and things, I really love the Halloween events. I think that they're fun.
The first one I remember, like everybody was playing, like we were getting a lot of candies for the first time. I do remember that first Halloween event. That was fun. I think that was the first event, was it? Wasn't it?
First event we ever had, a real event. It was super
like
fun.
Yeah, and now I like it back then whenever you had a couple days off. Like, you know, a week on, a week off, or like 2 weeks off, 1 week on. I don't remember what it was, but it was better. Like now it's like,
it was a long time.
Now it's like event over event over event over event over event.
And just imagine if we could have opted out of the last event, Evolving Stars. So many people would have. We would have just been like, nah, normal spawns, please. I don't need any of this. I'm not interested.
I have to admit, the Spotlight Hour was good. It was fun. I wasn't going to do it, but then like I see the weather, and I catch a hunter, and it's like 1,115 Stardust. I'm like, all right, let's go out for 30 minutes. Yeah, they were weather boosted, so I'm like,
we had a public holiday on the Monday before the Spotlight Hour, and I actually said to Skilled, I think I might go out and do Spotlight Hour tomorrow night. And he's like, it's Tuesday, Spotlight Hour's happened. I'm like, oh no, oh well, guess I'm not.
Oh no, that sucks.
At least it's just Haunter. Like, I know it's great for Dust, and I do need
Dust. It was good for Dust, that was it. I mean, yeah. How much Stardust do you have?
Not a lot. I power things up for raids. So, I could have shown you from that. 1.6 mil.
Up a little bit. I have seen people with like lot less. That brings me over to, do you PvP at all?
Nah. I every now and then I try, but I get too frustrated.
Yeah.
People used to ask why I don't stream PvP, why I will never. I tend to do it off stream. It's because I rage. Because when
You should
like, not
try
in
it
a
on
bad
stream.
way.
It's actually a good thing.
No,
It is a
no,
good thing.
I can't. I get so frustrated when I start a match and I just know I'm gonna lose instantly. Like my Pokemon comes out, I see theirs, and I'm like, great, I've lost the whole game. I've got the disadvantage. They're gonna switch to a second disadvantage. I'm just gonna lose. And I won't rage quit. I'll keep going, but it's just frustrating.
I actually stream my GBL is because if I don't, I rage, and it's like, yeah, like it's better for my health to be streaming. But there was one day that is actually like I lost 3 games in a row because of lag, or 2 games in a row because of lag. I literally went to the ending stream and like, boom, ciao. I'm like, I was just like, no, because yeah, like lag, and then like, just yeah, what you said, like you lose the lead, and then like it's almost game over right there.
Yeah, then your whole game's gone. Which I mean, that's fine. That's the game. I prefer the Sylph Roads way of doing the battles where you pick 6 Pokemon, you get to see each other's 6, and then you choose 3. That I think is a bit more fair.
That's
Yeah.
my team for my factions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have to play weekly.
That's
The bad part is like you have to coordinate with them.
Wait, the bad part is you have to talk to people
Yeah.
and you have to actually interact. That's what this
Yeah.
game's about.
Well, tell me a little bit about your community then. Like how is your community around you? Like how do you guys meet? How did all of that happen?
Well, we were a great community. We're still a good community, like with good people and things, but like everybody else, the pandemic really did a number on our community.
Yeah.
Because Skilb was laughing about this a little while ago. We used to have community day events in the area, and I had made a flyer saying like, come down to the community event because we were supposed to have Abra. And so I made one with Alakazam. Instead of holding spoons, he had forks because we were having a sausage sizzle with sausages in them. He's like, I thought that was funny. But we had to cancel that one. And I think since then, because then we had like the extended period of not meeting with anyone. And then since we've tried to come back to it, it's been a lot harder. Like people aren't as interested. So like people are around and everyone's kind of coming together a bit more, but it's just a lot harder now.
Unfortunately.
Pardon?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And also, I was doing a lot more in the community, but then when we started streaming, we kind of made a streaming community around the world. And so when we do raid hours, we feel bad by not saying, hey, does anyone want to do our raid hour? Because our people in our community tend to be raiders as well, because that was what we all do. So we tend to invite remotely instead of organizing local ones, which also doesn't help.
I see. So, you talked about that safari, like the possible safaris, and like, but that was before the pandemic.
Yeah. So we were working on it. We had a whole committee of people working on it together, and we'd had a few emails back and forth with people at Niantic where we were just selling it. We're saying, hey, we've noticed that a lot of the events in the Asia-Pacific region tend to focus on the Asia more than the Pacific, and we have a thriving community in Australia. And we were saying, we know that the obvious choices are going to be places like Sydney and Melbourne and places like that. But why not have a safari zone in a smaller place? That's not smaller, but because we're about the same size, I think. Maybe not as Melbourne. But we have more area to do things. We are willing to help you with it. I actually, for my job, I'm in volunteer coordination. So I deal with volunteers a lot. And I pitch to them doing an event like, I don't know if you've ever seen a PAX, where PAX events are their conventions for like geeky stuff. They're run by volunteers. So they have like an army of volunteers. And I'm like, imagine if you could do that for safari zones, where you're not relying on people you pay, you're relying on the trainers who are passionate about the game to go out there and help people out.
Yeah.
And like having PvP things where people who love PvP go, hey, let me help you with a team. What do you got in your game? Let's have a look. Oh, you should use that and that. That's really great. Let's get you set up with someone over here and doing all that stuff. And having like the people who love the game promoting it for them. So I was pushing that a lot. And I am quietly confident in saying I think that if the pandemic hadn't happened, you would have seen Safari Zone Brisbane. I am quietly confident in that. And then everything happened, everything closed down, and Australia wasn't the last place to open up, but we definitely weren't the first. And our state in Australia was one of the last to kind of open up more to the rest of Australia. So it kind of hurt us a little bit, which I want everyone to be safe. So they did what they thought they needed to do, and that's fine. But it just made it that now I think everything's shifted. Their focus might not be on Brisbane as much, which is unfortunate.
A little bit. That would have been so much fun because you guys have never had an event down there.
Nope.
Like, and it's like you guys are not landlocked, but you guys are like sea locked. So it's like going anywhere usually is pretty expensive. I can imagine.
Absolutely. And that's why when we talk to people and they're like, oh, like if they're in Europe and they're like, I'm going to catch the train to France for the day. And I'm like, it blows my mind going to another country for a day. We can't go anywhere. We can't even go halfway across the country for a day because it's so expensive, let alone another country in itself. That's insane. So, and we have a lot to show people in Australia. Like, people want to come to Australia. And so, I think that we would be a good place for it. But we just have to wait and see, I guess.
I mean, Panama will be a great place too. Like,
yeah, New
New
Zealand would be a great place.
New Zealand
so
too, yeah.
Places.
I just feel like, I don't know, like, I just feel like you guys don't get the love. You guys are the biggest troubleshooters of the game over there, and like, you guys don't like you have never had an event down there like a safari or anything. That's just strange to me.
Yeah, and not even a close one. Like, everyone talks about how, like, oh, what? The Safari Zone isn't in America? There's places other than Chicago. I'm like, yeah, but there's also places other than America. Literally, it costs so much for us to go to America that we're trying to go to next year's GoFest when they have it, because we know there's going to be an American one. But that's going to be our entire budget for the entire year to go there, to do that, because it's so expensive.
What about the European one? Isn't it a little bit cheaper?
It depends where we go. It can be. Our thing was we have a lot of friends of the stream now in America, so we're like, we'll probably go to Europe eventually if we do, but if we're going to go somewhere else. But we want to go to America first so we can meet our mods and we can meet the people who we talk to all the time on the stream. So that's our plan. But so expensive.
Yeah, remember that day that you came into stream and it's like, hey, are you going to Singapore? I'm like, no. And I look at tickets, like, it was $2.5 grand for a ticket to Singapore.
It's not cheap for us to go to Singapore. I said to Skilled, he has to go to an event. Because I've been to an event in Japan. I literally went to the Yokosuka Safari Zone and I flew into Japan just for that event. And then we stayed there for the weekend. And I think we were there for like 2 days after that, then we left. Because that's what we're doing. And that's what Skilled and I are doing for Singapore. We're flying to Singapore on the Saturday, hopefully getting tickets for Sunday. If we don't, we're in trouble. And then we're flying out again on Tuesday. That's it.
So you're talking about the online community. So because of streaming, how many different like peoples have you met, and like any fun stories about that? Like, and you can tell us, or
I don't really know about stories. I mean, we've got a pretty nice community. I like to think that we try to encourage people to raid, and my big thing is being someone who raids a lot, and you'd be the same. We have things because we spend the money that a lot of people don't. So I'm always mindful of reminding people when they come on stream, they're like, wow, how do you have those Pokemon? That's so many. Of going, yes, but I spend the money for them. And not everyone can, and not everyone should. So when you see us getting the shinies, you have to remember, yes, we've gotten like however many shiny Hundi Rayquazas you have, but you've also had to do that many raids to get it. So I try to remind people that. Sorry, I don't want to throw you under the bus, but I try to remind people that, because people come on all the time and say, oh, you're so lucky, I have terrible luck. I'm like, no, we stack the odds in our favor because we're playing all the time. Yeah, it's
I
easy to
mean,
get the luck when you're rolling 100,000 dice.
that's why I never talk about like money or spending in the game. Like on stream, like if people ask, it's like, oh yeah, like like I'm like don't judge because like I mean I don't spend as much as I used to, but I know people that spend more than me and that have
Yeah,
ever spent. I'm like, you cannot ever compare. Like
yeah,
no, but
100%. That's the biggest way you're going to make yourself feel bad, by comparing yourself to people who are playing way more and spending a lot more.
yeah, but it's like it's up to a point. Like I don't feel like it's like pay to win, like people make it sound like either. Like you don't really get that much of an advantage from like raiding. You just get resources, but it's not like I don't think it's like pay to win because yeah, like or you were talking about hatching eggs. When have you hatched something cool? Like, when was the last time you actually hatched
Yeah,
something cool?
yeah. I used to say to people all the time when they'd say, "Oh, I'd love to do a raid with you, but I don't have like as good a Pokemon as you because they don't play as much." And I'm like, "That's fine. That's what I'm here for. I have those Pokemon. When we do raids, all of our damage is combined, so it's fine. Jump in." I've
Question:
This
do you
isn't a good
think?
story. This is a terrible story. But I've heard multiple stories from people in our area pre-pandemic, not so much afterwards, where they'd turn up at raids where the big guns would be doing their raid trains, and they'd want to join in, but they'd be private grouped out because they just didn't want to have deal with the lesser people. I'm like, that to me is the opposite of everything I've always wanted to do in Pokemon. Like, our community's not like that in person, our community's not like that online. It's for everybody. If you want to come play and you're a level 15 trainer and your best Pokemon is your powered up Pikachu because you love it, bring it along. It's not going to last long. And as long as you got to revive for later, you're all good.
That's true. That's true. Like that's what I stream though. Like I stream because not everybody has like the friends that we did back in the day, and like we could just do raid trains of 100 and 108, 140. I don't know. We got to like 170 once. I think something ridiculous in a day. I was just like,
Yeah. But it's fun. Like, that's what I enjoy. And you know it's gambling, right? Like 100%, we're in the raids, we're doing them, and then as soon as they're finished, we're like, did we get the shiny? Did we get the hundy? That's gambling. We're gambling on the Pokemon we're getting.
yeah, we are. I always yeah. You just like basically stole the words out of my mouth because I say that all the time. People
Yeah.
are like, oh yeah, but it's like, no, you're playing the game. I'm like, no, I'm gambling. I'm just gambling in a different currency. Like,
We're all playing Pokemon Casino.
yes, yeah, Honda, oh my gosh, it's a Honda. Is it gonna be a Shunda? Like,
Yeah. And literally, and eggs. Eggs are the biggest example of that. You don't know what you're going to get, if it's going to be good, if it's going to be shiny, but we play it anyway, because that's what we do.
I'm only been incubating lately because I had like 70 incubators left over from whenever I was buying the big box that had like incubators and green passes.
Yeah.
So, and I had a bunch of incense too because of that box, but it's like whenever boxes were good, bring back the good boxes. But yeah, like that's the only reason I'm incubating eggs. Otherwise, I don't.
Yeah, I tend to only incubate the 10s and the accidental 7 I got, but the 10s and the 12s. Actually, I put that on too. And then the free incubator for the 2s and the 5s, because unless I'm desperate, like next week, because this is something I can't stand, but next week, or the Halloween week, we're getting the Noibat, as you would have seen, is going shiny, with an increased chance of shiny in eggs. So we have to spend money to get the increased chance. I'm gonna do it.
And is it what kind of eggs?
7Ks. So the worst kind, the ones where they literally tell you you can have this many a day and no more. The worst, but I'll still do it because I'm addicted.
So you're basically taking a break this week because next week you're just gonna go like hard and like
hard adjacent. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I've literally been buying the credit I would buy, and I've been putting the little cards for them on my fridge, so that just before I go to Singapore and Japan, I can then put them in my game. So I'm not tempted to do it now, because I will.
Oh my. PvP, we'll talk about that. Do you think you will stop playing the game anytime soon?
Probably not anytime soon, but maybe one day.
So, what is a quality update for the game, quality life update that you would like to see in the game? Like, if you can change anything.
I would love to see. See, I always want to say I'd love to see shinies on the map, because they did that in Legends Arceus, was it? And it's great. Like, it is so exciting when you see that shiny on the map in Legends Arceus, and I'd love to see it on here. But at the same time, I know they'll never do it, because why would you bother? What's the grind for shinies when you can just see them in the wild? That's not a grind. That's just driving around and looking for different colors. And B, I'm not actually sure if it would help anything. I think it's the novelty that I would like, but I don't know if that would be something that would make me feel better in the long run. So my backup one I'm going to tell you is I would love to see them have a counter for trades, to know how many trades you've done in a day.
That will be interesting, yes. Because
which I think isn't hard.
I know, but it's like I have missed my special trade so many times because I just get carried away and like just do the 100 trades and it's like, oops. But that will be a good one, and it should not be difficult like you just said.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Pokemon moment or experience?
Getting my first dino. Literally, because I'm in a lot of chats in the areas, because Brisbane's a fairly large city, and I used to work on the south side but live on the north. And one of the chats in the south side said, "Oh, I got this," and it was a dino. And I instantly, because I was working late, it was like 9 o'clock at night, I was working late, and I instantly was in the chat saying, "Where is it? When did you get it? Give me all the details." And they told me, and it was a 10-minute drive from where I was, if I sped, which I did. And they said they'd just gotten it. So I got in the car, drove there, actually called one of my friends on the way to say, "I'm on my way to a dino. I have no idea if it's going to be there. I'm so stressed." And he said, "Just calm down. You'll be fine." I got there and it was still there. I caught it, and when it actually did like the bing, I cried a little because I was so happy. Because it's my favorite Pokemon, and I wanted it so badly. And then I traded it to my ult. Because I got it on the ult too, and we were lucky friends, and I traded it so I could have a lucky, and I'm like, it was stupid. I should have kept that one and traded the other one. But
well, it's like it's your favorite. How many do you have?
Well, I've been really good because we had the community day. I was going overboard, so I currently have 132, including the evolutions. And I'm going to have to cull again, I know, but look at me shinies. I just love it. It's just my baby.
130. Damn.
Yeah, too many. I know, too many.
It's all right, but it's like, that's a lot of space. I mean, what is your favorite?
Oh, yeah. And I'm currently going through being very brutal with my space. And I'm working through the gens. So I was brutal with Kanto, then I've been brutal with Johto, and then I'm going to work on being brutal with Hoenn next. And I plan to get through all the gens before I go away, so I have as much space as possible. Because Safari Zone, I'm going to need the space, and also Japan. I love catching things and giving them Japanese names, so I'm going to need the space for that too.
True. I have to delete some legendaries. I have issues with that. Like 4,000.
They're hard to get rid of though.
Is that 4,000 I see there?
Oh no, for Dino, I've seen 6,234 and I've caught 6,074, and I've had 224 luckies.
Do you use a gacha at all?
Pardon?
Do you use a Pokemon Go Plus or a gacha or any?
I use a thing I bought from. Can I say places that I bought it from? I guess it's from a Chinese website that sells a lot of really cheap, terrible stuff. And I bought it from that website, and it actually connects to 3 devices at once, which is great because I have so many phones.
Where is it? Because we might have the same one.
Hang on, give me a second, grab it in my bag. Hang on.
They just posted elite rates. Ed, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Okay, it's this one. I did color it in because it was all yellow and I did not like it. It's instinct coloring. Like, why? So that one. Is that the same one?
Yeah.
It works so well though, and it's so much cheaper than every other one I got.
Did you ever open it?
No.
It is actually 3 Go Pluses inside of it.
Really? I love that. That's so stupid.
I open it because mine was finicky. Only 2 buttons worked, so I had to I was checking. I moved it, and yeah, but it was I don't know. It was cheap, a year and a half ago. Now it's they're super expensive.
Oh, I've been telling people to buy them. Maybe that's my fault.
No, but it's I love it. I love it. I have it. It's I always try to look for it, not leave it anywhere.
Yeah, I take mine with me all the time. That's always in my bag. But I have that. I have 3 dual catch ones. I have one. They had one that was an incubator, so I bought that one too.
I really wanted one of those. Remember, you know that is connects back. You just touch the thing. It's that's the one that connects. Yeah. I wanted one of those. And you know what? It's it was 60, back in the day, it was 60, 65 bucks. Now it's 90. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's expensive. And I have the Pokeball Plus and I have the Go Plus somewhere. So yes, I do. But I use them most of the time just for items. So if I go out and have a grind, when I'm finished the grind, I'll put that on and I'll drive around our city. So it'll spin all the stops and I'll just go around and around and around until I'm full of items again.
I see. So not much for catching, but a lot more for...
Yeah, because I like to actually catch. I like getting the dust and getting the chances for a shiny and the mons. So I tend to catch manually.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Oh my god, they just released a vlog about elite raids. So Hoopa.
Oh, I did. Oh, Hoopa. I did see the elite raids was data mined, but I hadn't read what it was yet. Tell me the tea. I need to know.
I'm trying to read. That's what I'm saying. Appearing for 30 minutes. Only in person? Oh god. When is this thing happening? 16th?
They hatch after 24 hours as well.
So 24-hour eggs? Does that mean that we are not gonna have any raids for a day?
Yep.
Any other raid?
Only where they are. I don't imagine there'll be a lot of them around. But I mean, that's still cool. My poop is terrible, so I'm very much on board for that.
Damn.
I mean, I like when they experiment with things. Just, I would prefer them to experiment with less things that are money-based.
Yeah, I know. It's I wonder if they ever gonna fix the blind lobby issue. That is one that I would love to. I mean, if it's if they last 30 minutes, that's fine. I mean, you have 20 hours to prepare for it. You know it's gonna, it's probably gonna be a couple in the city, hopefully, not a raid hour kind of deal. They messed up. That probably happened in Australia. They just messed up and they just give you all Hoopa X, so you have nothing, no other raids for a day. That's probably gonna happen.
If we get half an hour to just raid as many Hoopas as we can, I'd do it. I'd be so on board.
That will be interesting because yeah, they can mess it up for you guys. You guys will test it.
I mean, my Hooper I got is 15, 10, 11. So it's not even a 3-star. So yeah, I'm cool to get a new one. Yes, please.
How do you spell Hoopa?
What's your best mythical? Not including the ones with rating.
My best mythical? I don't know, because I think my Mew.
That's pretty good.
My Mew bot is for PvP. Not really like great, but it's like, I think it's my PvP Mew.
Mine is terrible, so I don't use it. I'm 11, 10, 10, and a 10, 13, 12, the shiny. So it is not usable for me.
So it starts Sunday, so does that mean that the raids will be Monday then? Are they?
Oh, yes. Unless they're starting Sunday, so they're going to show up today. I mean, have a look, see if you have any eggs.
You look if you have any eggs. You're in tomorrow.
Yeah, besides that's Saturday for us, so
Yeah.
I don't have any eggs that are there.
So if you don't have an egg yet,
I'm also in a suburb though. I'm not in the city, so I imagine they are going to want them in city areas.
That's very interesting because 24-hour eggs, they better start appearing soon. So
it says, please note the first of these raids will begin 11 a.m., 2 p.m., or 5 p.m. local time on October 16, depending on when their eggs appear. So every 3 hours from 11 till 5. So that means they'll start showing up in about 2.5 hours here.
Oh.
That's not terrible. Time to assemble everybody.
11? Yeah, because it has to be in person.
Yep.
They want us to go out.
This is what I'm saying though. This is an example of them giving us the reward for going out rather than the stick. And I'm on board with that. Like,
that is
giving
fine.
us the stick.
That is fine, but here's the thing. There's no passes in any of the boxes either right now. So it's like,
so they just want you to buy
them. There's not really a good deal for passes.
The event one's not terrible. You're basically spending 150 coins for 2 incubators. I wouldn't get it still.
I mean, I'm just saying, like they have their boxes backwards. We just came out of an event that there were raid boxes, like raid passes, but it was like not so great. I don't know. They have some things to figure out there. What's the longest you have had a Pokemon stranded in a gym? Do you remember back in the day?
Yes, I do. I can tell you exactly how long, because it's... Wait, can I?
Don't
over a year.
Don't show the gym.
Oh, it's gone.
Okay. Okay.
I was in it for 470 days and 7 hours. I gave it 285 treats in that time, but I've only been in that gym once. I honestly have no idea where it is now. I was driving back down from an up north town somewhere, and it was one of those ones on the side of a road. And so because I had my game open so I could see things, and so if I saw anything, then I'm like, I'll go into that gym, because I made sure I was in every spot was taken in my gyms, and I went in and I just wouldn't leave it. And I told my friend Bass Hunter about it, and he was driving up and actually saw the same gym and dumped in, and he sent me a picture, and I'm like, how did you find that?
Damn,
yeah,
400
easily.
Damn, that is crazy. Now you're gonna make me check like my home gym. How long have I been in it? 385 days, 12 hours and 2 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's easier when it's one go. Don't think about it.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. But this thing is like, I told the people, I have 1,007 victories on it.
Oh, that's pretty good. I have 2 in mine.
I have 28,000 treats fed to it too.
Whoa, that's a lot. That's gym protecting right there.
About it. How many Pokemons a day do you usually catch?
It depends, but I'm generally playing a lot. I probably catch about, if I'm playing casually, like 20 an hour. So
because you have quite a few spawns. Like I'm just seeing, I keep seeing your park. They keep popping.
People are jealous of my park. which, yep, it should be. It's great. And the park behind me too is a nest. It's a very small nest, but it's a nest. So I think we must have just had a nest rotation, but that was a trap-inch nest a little while ago,
Ugh.
which I very much enjoyed. So
That's
some
cool.
Pokemon there.
That's cool. That's cool. You know, you said you got a couple hundos. Like you had some good luck too. It's like 3 Uxies in the wild.
Yeah.
An Uxie at home. Like
I will say, getting the wild things like Uxies and things is, apart from the home one, is all based on communication with the group. Like people see it, people say it, which is good. I'm very much appreciative.
I mean, chat. Have you ever heard of anybody catching 2?
Yeah.
Like lake trios in the wild? Like
It's
2?
insane.
1? Yeah, you heard 1 here and there sometimes, but it's like 3? That's crazy.
We used to have a lot of unknown announcements as well. People saying, "Hey, there's an unknown here," but they've died down a lot now. Like, I don't know if people just aren't interested in them, so they're not saying they've seen one, or if
They're not spawning either. They're not spawning as much anymore. You have all of yours, right?
Pardon?
You have all of yours.
No. It's my bugbear. I hate it. I am missing C and W. And every event I go to, every event they have, no C and W. I'm like, come on.
C and W.
Yep. I even have the exclamation mark and question mark, but no C and W.
Oh my god, look at those shinies on there.
Yeah. I also don't try for the shiny unknowns. I do not like that it doesn't just show all of them like the other things, and so it irritates me, so I don't try for them.
But you have a lot of them.
Yeah. I raid, and I generally play at least one ult in IRL events that I can. So then I'll trade them myself.
Smart.
Yeah, I have way too many ults.
Any final
I was
thoughts?
Just telling you before we started, I have to make another ult today because what I do. For anyone who doesn't know, if you want a guaranteed XL candy from a trade, you have to trade things that are 100 kilometers away. And next week, I have to go 100 kilometers away for work. And so I tend to take an ult with me, leave the gotcha on with it catching the entire time, and then I've got basically an account with instant things that I can trade to myself for 100 kilometer trades. Just trash that I don't care about. But I'll get the XL candy for the things I want.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you get that Hundo crappy one that you don't want, but that also that's the funny part. But it's like why you say you have to make a new one?
Oh, I have a bunch of them, but sometimes it's just easier to make a new one and get the referral bonus with the 50 Pokeballs, and then go out because I have to grind for Pokeballs before I go next week, or else it'll run out of Pokeballs and won't be able to catch anything. So that's going to be one of my jobs today for Litwick Day. I'm going to be playing, but the gotcha will be on one of my accounts, gotchaing Pokeballs.
Huh. Interesting. That's an interesting strategy. New account just to.
Thought too much.
Huh?
It's from someone who's thought too much about the game.
What other crazy things like that have you thought about? Because it's interesting. Level.
Dude, have you seen that thing everyone's talking about where when they get a Galarian bird, they're throwing away all those balls to increase their chances? I still do not believe that's a thing. I do not. Until I see Silph Road do actual evidence on it, and Silph Road says, yes, that is a thing, I do not believe it. But next time I see a bird, I'm 100% going to try it, just in case.
My friend told me this morning that she tried it, and that didn't work.
Yeah. See, exactly. So I don't believe it.
I mean, I don't. There might be a little bit of truth at it, but it's not like guarantee you to catch it. Like that's the thing.
It just seems really coincidental. So.
Yeah. I would love to try it. Have you done your daily instance daily?
No, I was for a couple weeks, and then I just kind of gave up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll still go for my walk. I just forget to do the incense because you have to go in a straight line. That's what I don't like about it.
Yep. Yep. That's the problem with the incense, the straight line. Otherwise, you get like 10, 15 spawns instead of
Yeah.
20 or so. So, since you are from the future and you always got those glitches and stuff, what has been like the funniest, like, or craziest, like, glitch that you guys had to endure whenever, like, they try something or whenever something broke, or thank you for giving us Gyarados for 6 hours?
Yeah, which I didn't mind. I think I would say the worst one would be what they did for the level 50 challenge, because we got into it first, and when they made it so that with the trading one, do you remember that? People were doing trades, getting the lucky trades, and then it just randomly reset. And all these people had used a bunch of lucky friends I had set up. Like Fleece King did it too. Used a bunch of lucky friends, and then it just got reset. And I had been streaming it, and so I had my exact number that I'd done, and I kept saying, I just want my number back. I don't want to be fast forwarded. I just want to do it. Just please don't take it away from me, but don't just give it to me. And they just gave it to me, and I was so irritated because now I look back at that challenge and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I did it, but it wasn't. I did a bunch, but it just felt like it was handed to me, and I hate that so much.
Huh.
Which I know, first world problem, complaining about Niantic fast forwarding me through a challenge step, but
I think it was thanks to that fast forward, the fact that I was able to get to 50 on the first day. Because it finally said that you needed to be ranked 10 in GBL.
Mm-hmm.
I was so busy grinding everything else out that I didn't touch GBL at that point. If it wasn't because of you guys getting ahead by a day, I would have not made 50 the first possible day.
I was trying so hard to beat you because I just wanted to be like, yeah, I did it. And I didn't have the XP for it.
Oh.
And I was trying so hard because I had everything else done, and I went out and I said to Skilled, okay, I did the maths, and I said, I need to get this many excellent throws and catches to be able to get to 50 with eggs and do this. And I just was having the worst day. Like, I couldn't get an excellent throw to save my life. And there were things around you could get them on. I just was failing all the time. The pressure just got to me. And so then I'm like, do you know what? It's not that important. It's fine. Just chill out, calm down.
But you started before me too, right?
Yeah. That's why I wanted to beat you. I was like, let's do it. And I did not. I don't think I was too far behind, but
I don't think you were that far behind, no, because I mean, I know it was a Friday and it was like, I think the 30th. I know I was a January level 50.
Yeah,
so
I was not. I also am still trying to figure out what 60 should be, because I want to make sure I'm at 60 XP. I want to have a goal for that, but no one has written it down. No one really knows. Because they worked out what 50 would be before it happened.
They kind of did, but
yeah, that's an estimate.
Oh, so EX gems. They're bringing back the EX gems. So I'm gonna keep talking to you, but here's the thing. Any final thoughts? Anything else that you wanna tell us as we are winding down and wrapping up the podcast?
Never transfer dinos. That's the secret to Pokemon Go.
You heard it first. Never transfer dinos.
Yeah. I just think everybody needs to just find what they enjoy doing in the game and just stick with it. Like, don't compare yourself to other people and just have fun.
Yep. I mean, for example, like I told you, like, how can I compare my gameplay with yours? My radius is smaller. As I walk down the street, I get less spawns because that is just annoying. If you really think about it.
Yeah, one of the mods in our chat finds it very hard not to compare himself to us. And he lives in a town that has like 2 gyms. I'm like, and I think he had to put them both in. I'm like, why would you compare? If you look at my map right now, I can see 2 gyms there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gyms in my circle radius thing. Not, I can't touch them, but I can see them in my vicinity. You have 2 in your entire town, and you're trying to compare your stats to mine. It's not balanced. You can't. It's not weighed in your favor at all. So just don't.
Yeah, don't compare. Yeah, that's a good thought. Like, yeah, no, don't compare yourself. Just, yeah, it's everybody plays in a different playground. Like Brandon Tan once told me.
Yeah.
And just think about it.
Yeah.
Brandon is like Singapore is 100 kilometers from the equator.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you go to Singapore, check the like look at that radius. That's gonna be painful. It's so small.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I when I first started streaming, I actually always kind of felt like the big fish in my little pond. And then once I started streaming and opened myself up to talking to people worldwide, you just realize that there's always someone who is a bigger fish. And it's not, you don't need to compare yourself to that. So just don't.
Nice. So just stay with me. Thank you again for joining, and hit that follow button, subscribe if you're new. Thank you, DJ Kizza. Thank you.